gamers? This is NGG with another review video. This is another multiplayer review with our partner in crime, Marz. You want to introduce yourself and introduce your channel?
Yeah, what's up, man? LazzyJames, aka LazzyJames, Aka Marz, Aka Dr. Mario. Check out my channel. I'm sure Gamer will have all that stuff in the description. And yeah, I think we're gonna get into some good topics here.
So today, the game of the day is Splatoon 2. We are reviewing this game. This is probably gonna be backwards on your end, but yeah, we're reviewing Splatoon 2 now. We both have been playing it since. I'm gonna say I've been playing it since launch. How about
you? Definitely. Definitely been playing this game. Probably like, I think it was like July 17th or 27th or something like that. I played probably about 9 hours that day.
Damn.
Me straight up. So yeah, definitely been playing since launch.
So let's get into single player campaign, and so I'm gonna let you speak on that one because that's not me.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm gonna take it from the tippy top, and then we're gonna bring it down there. So, alright, when you first load the game in, right, you gotta do the tutorial,
right,
and you gotta do it with gyro. You did gyro, right?
Yeah.
You never played sticks.
No.
Right.
Never.
See me, I'm coming from sticks. I played the first year until I started streaming sticks. I was all sticks. So from that point, you got to go through the tutorial, and I was like playing with the gyros. Me and all my friends like, man, gyros, man, turn this junk off, man. Get this off my controller, man. As soon as you get through the tutorial, I'm turning like going through the options and all that, getting that off of my junk. All of us like, we don't mess with gyros.
When I started, because I didn't have the Pro Controller day one, I started with, like, you know how that...
Joy-Cons?
I was playing with my Joy-Con, but I was playing with the moose. I was playing with the moose. And I was like, what the flying fudge? I quickly put them on the thing. I was like, alright, I'm done with that. Like, I didn't know, right? I didn't know. So I'm like, why is my character moving this way and that way? And nah, don't play with that shit. If you do a gyro, don't do it.
I did a stream like that. People was like, I'm about to throw up. I was like, yeah, that was the last time I did that. I like it. Feels good. Like I feel like because only the one really aims the gun really well, but it is a lot of movement going on. It's a lot, and then you can slip up real quick, and then the Joy-Cons are so small, like they get out of your grip pretty easily for a game without aim. Like, but it could be better. But yeah, I experienced your way too. So yep. Yeah. And then I put it in the grip, and then I Pro Controller after that.
Yep, Pro Controller. You got this one too, right? The Splatoon Pro Controller. This is my second one. Broke the first one. Played the shit out of that. Pro Controller and broke it. But so then after I experienced Pro Controller, there was just like no going back. It was gyro, Pro Controller, done. I'm
gonna say one thing. When it comes to Splatoon 2. It's in a whole different league when it comes to gyros. I just want to make that clear. They ain't whack on it. Like I'll play other games not with gyro, but when it comes to Splatoon 2, you're definitely gyros. The gyros is where it's at in Splatoon 2. They're really good.
Yeah, I feel like the gyros. I've never had a problem besides playing double Joy-Cons. I've never had a problem with gyros. Gyros are great.
Yeah, because you don't even think about it. I think so. Now, so used to gyros, I kind of hate playing first-person shooters without third-person shooters, Splatoon's third-person without gyros. But yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick. Anyway, that's another story. But so you go through that, you go through the tutorial, and then boom, they throw you in the story mode. And now me, I always with a game that got multiplayer in story mode. I was like, let me knock this story mode out real quick, because if I get in that multiplayer, it might not come back to that story mode.
Right.
So I said, I go in the story mode, knock it out. I like story mode. Story mode got the music. Story mode, it got stuff you can do in story mode that ain't in multiplayer. Like, I remember when I was playing with you, and we were doing some Splatfest, and you was like, oh, I've never seen this before. I'm like, oh, that's in story mode. Like how you can shoot things and hook to it and all that, and get on some of the stuff. Like they got different movement features of the game that's in story mode that is not in multiplayer. So I like that. I like the movement in story mode because I think Splatoon is a lot about movement. So I do like some of the movement options that you get in story mode that's not in multiplayer. And this is like a cool little story, but the music's good. So it's a nice little sequence. I always like the boss battle at the end. And then they give you little challenges to get little secret guns for multiplayer, different looks of this and that. So it's got its things. It's not too bad. When it gets hard, I guess is when you have to use the unrecommended guns. Like some stages you wouldn't dare use like a sniper or something, but they want you to try to beat it with the sniper. or the added challenge. I like the story mode. I think we're gonna have a contrasting view on this.
Yeah, so story mode for me, oh my god, it was a nightmare to play. Our teammate was the one who forced me to finish that shit. I was like, no, I'm all the way good. We don't need to do that. They're like, nah, you got to finish it. And I'm like, no, I'm really all the way good. I don't want to. Because you know what it is I like to stay with my role. Anybody who's been to any of my streams knows that I'm just gonna play with that roller all day, every day. I'm not gonna change my weapon up. You never see a gun in my hand. I mean, it's very rare. If you see a gun in my hand, it's super rare to see it. Because I know this is a shooter game. I know it. I know this is listed as a typical shooter game, but I don't play it as a shooter game. So that's how come I can play it. Because I don't play it as a shooter. I'll play with the bucket. For the most part, I play with the roller. I'll play with anything that's not a shooty gun, right? So, like, I don't like that it forced, and I get the reasoning, like, they want you to experiment with all the weapons and play with all of the weapons, and I get that, right? It's not that I don't get it, I just don't want to. It should give you an option, like, if you don't want to experience all the weapons, to play with whatever weapon you feel comfortable with. So, I'm gonna let you talk about the DLC and how it changed the game for the better or worse.
You mentioned Pass, it did, because people were hyping up Octolings way before that. That's kind of the things, I guess, like the developers listen, we'll throw Octoling in there. Then you got some more hairstyles in that. But yeah, like it was more like a skills challenge. You go through it, you got to do this sort of task. It's different from the story mode in that way. And then you get your little, how they be having exclusive gear.
Right.
So you get exclusive gear when you get the little pin and all that.
Right.
You get the hero shot replicas or whatever. And but yeah, but it's nothing special. $20. I think it was a fair price. $20. I don't know, $10-$20 for what it was.
For the most part, we're getting free DLC anyway, right? But when they started the game, we didn't have as many maps. So I get why they're charging for the DLC, because they're already giving us so many free maps and so many of this and so many of that. They got to make their money somewhere, right? So I get charging for it. I just wasn't buying it. All right, so so Splatfest. Splatfest for me, are the most wonderful time of the year when it comes to Splatoon. I don't know about you, how you feel about that. I feel like I get this anticipation. I'm like, yes, it's coming. Pick the team. Let's go, boys. It'll be like a 3-day event, right? Splatfest are usually 3-day events, and I will be even before I started streaming it, I'd be on Splatfest all day, every day. I feel like when it's Splatfest Turf War, you're like, alright, this is my team. You guys suck. I'm gonna win. There's more of a fighting spirit during Splatfest than there is any other time playing Turf. Yeah.
But what you were saying about the spirit about it, I think one of the things too is they add stuff like you can get on the little board, you can have your little team on the board if you want
the 10 times battle and the 100 times battle.
Yeah, you can add that. We gotta win this game, and then it show the other team be like, I'm on an 18-game win streak, so we gotta snap that win streak. You know what I'm saying? So they got little things like that too that ain't in your regular Turf to kind of hype it up too, trying to get that spirit going. And that's the part I do like about that too. It's like, okay, 100 times battle, because especially if you only get 100 times battle throughout the whole weekend, you gonna be tight. You better win it. Tight, yeah. So then 10 times battle, you like, yeah, let's get it. But yeah, so stuff like that, it creates a different atmosphere different from the Turf Wars,
Yeah, and along with the atmosphere that they create is also your outfits. So if you're all wearing an outfit, you get bonuses.
Trying to get that in, yo.
Yeah, we're trying to get.
I like too what they started doing was, if you're playing with randoms, and if you stay in the same group, the same team, you start getting bonuses. Team I forget how the bonus is called, but if the longer y'all stay together, the bigger that bonus would be.
I feel like that. You don't have that unity throughout the rest of the year when you're playing Turf War. So that's why the little things that they do to make it feel special, everybody picking a team, most people, and you know how the people will write some bull crap on the things, and they're holding up the signs with the bullcrap that wrote about Splatfest, like, oh, team this is gonna kick team this is, but I like a nice camaraderie, I think.
You know, so it's like got a different spirit. The Splatfest music gets you in a different spirit too. They done a good job with doing Splatfest. They could have just made it something there easy. They changed the spirit. You got Pearl and Marina up there doing a little concert. They're the little local celebrities. But hold on, I got some points to bring up. One, I get accused of being a fanboy a lot on my reviews. Got 10 out of 10 in games and all that. So let me say something negative about Splatfest. Oh, he's just a fanboy. He gonna say anything good. So let me say a negative about Splatfest. If you get a wax stage, that can ruin a Splatfest. All right, another knock against Splatfest. I was looking on Twitter, and somebody just got the game like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, literally. They missed all the Splatfest.
Not they weren't tripping about that. They needed sea snails, and the only way they can get them is like going level 1 and you get one, going level 2 and you get one, right? So remember, Splatfest you can get about 30 at a time. So now there's no way for them to get a bunch. They have to go the long way about. So they need to have a better way. We ain't doing Splatfest no more. What's a better way to get sea snails instead of one at a time per level? So yeah, but I was like, yeah, dang, I never thought about that because I played all through the Splat. You know, I got about 200-300. So I'm good. But if you just got the game, you're gonna be a little low, and then you want specialized gear. I just wait to Splatoon 3. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't use the sea snails. I don't think I've ever used the sea snails. So I have.
So if you try to build gear, it's gonna be tough. By the time you get them little, because I mean it take a long time. Like 1 was bad, 2 not as bad, but to get some of the gear pieces I had, it took a while to get.
Right.
Because you need them shells, you need to roll right, get lucky on some rolls maybe. You need to farm. So yeah, if you got it after the Splatfest, I mean.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. That part of the game, I've never really dived into, like the gear setting, and like, I mean, I'm sure it changes the nature of the game. I did like scrub my gear so I can get new pieces, and I have all the chunks, right? I have the base, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to fuck up. Like, I wish there was a way to test it before you buy it, to like do a test run of the gear to see if you like it, because you know, to spend all the things that you've been farming, and to figure out this is not what you want on your gear set, and you just wasted a shit ton of time, energy, and everything. That's why I'm gonna be honest, that's why I haven't experimented with it, because I'm like, I've scrubbed the gear. I got all the gear chunks and everything that I know I probably need, right? But I haven't wanted to push the go button, because I'm afraid, what if I don't make the best piece of equipment for me? Like, I know my playstyle, but what if, oh man, what I thought I needed wasn't what I needed. I needed this piece instead. You know, instead of main power up, I needed speed boost, because I find that this gear set is too slow, so I'd rather go fast than have the extra power. You know what I mean? And so that's why I really never experimented, because I'm just afraid to like fudge it up.
Yeah, I mean, and it takes time. You know, time is valuable. So I mean, there's that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because that's a part. You know, it's just in the next one. I hope they keep that in mind, because not everybody buys the game during its like prime. You know what I'm saying?
They should buy the game during its prime. Alright, so we've talked about Splatfest, we talked about single player. We need to, I mean, even though Splatfest isn't part of the multiplayer, we haven't actually dived deep on the other parts of the multiplayer. So let's start. You want to pick? We can start with either League or Ranked.
Well, let's start with League, and then I guess we can go down as it is on the menu.
Okay, cool. Alright, so League for me was that impossible feat that I thought I would never touch. Because when I started playing, I was just playing by myself for the most part. So it's like, when you see League, you need to have at least one buddy. You gotta have a buddy to play with.
Oh yeah.
I would see it and never be able to go in it. I was like, dang. But I'll let you talk more about League, and then I'll chime back in.
Alright, so first of all, multiplayer is the game, right? We talked about single player Splatfest, but multiplayer pretty much is the game. Right. So, alright, we get in the League. With League, what I do like about League is you can play without punishment. versus ranked, right? You know, ranked, they start giving you cracks and this and that. But in League, you can play, you can take a bunch of L's and only last for that hour. Then, you know, they reset. Nothing's really hardcore. You can go in there, you can experiment with, like, team ideals and stuff, right? For that couple hour period. And then, you know, you with your people. So, whether you do 2 or 4, I always think 4 is harder. You gotta have voice chat, right? Because you know that other team gonna be communicating it. Because I remember playing with people that didn't have voice chat. It's a little tougher, you know, because you gotta do the call outs and that. But and then doubles, usually that just depends on who you get on the other two. So but yeah, I like League a lot. I think I actually like running doubles more than I do like running the 4. Like, I mean, there's a game mode out there that exists that I don't know how you can play it without voice chat. Clan Blitz.
No, God, that fucking.
You need voice chat for Clan Blitz to synchronize the clan. Like, there's like, all right, now that the game's been out, there's like certain patterns and stuff that people do. They do with the clans, like, hey, follow me or whatever, to try to group the clans. But it can be so much clearer. Hey, I got 7. What you got? 3. I just talked about 1 more. Hey, meet to the back of the net. 2.
When we
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when we
jump with 1. You know, jump with 1 clan when we good. You know, you need, like, you made a whole mode. I can understand tower control, you know, splat zones and all the other modes, right? Without it, fine. You can get the gist of it. Clan Blitz. Come on, you need the freaking.
And then, alright, so that's League, right?
Alright, so, we gotta get in there.
With League, you have to have, wait. With League, you have to have a certain rank. In order to unlock League, I think you have to be a B or C. I think one of those ranks in rank. So we're gonna talk about rank, but in order to get to League to open up, you have to unlock it in rank. And so now let's talk about ranked now. Okay.
Alright, so when we first met, you were not there, were you? But you know what was funny? Because I think, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were like in the spirit or in the mind, like I'm never gonna be League, you know what I'm saying? Because I think I would try to like get you to play League, but you was like, nah, because then I gotta work on my rank, and I don't really mess with rank.
I don't have rank. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, because you was like, what, B+ or something, wasn't it? Like around that?
Yeah, I think you only have to have B's.
Yeah, so that's right. It ain't nothing like, that's what I mean. It ain't nothing like you ain't gotta be X rank. Right. You know what I'm saying? To get to League, you just gotta. And to get to B, you pretty much just gotta play the game, and you'll get there. Right. Because I think you start off at C.
You start off at C. Yes, you start off at C-, so you don't have to climb that bar. And the thing is that everybody that's in your thing is your same rank. So like, it's not like you're playing C ranks and playing with A level players. I mean, it happens very rarely. Like, if there's nobody to play with, they'll do that shit. Like, I have seen that where they'll have, it'll be on the same, like, you can be C- playing with C+ players. They try to put all C- players together, all C players together, all C+ players together. They try to stack it that way, but if there are not enough players, I think I have seen it where at least if they have to be at least the same letter, right, as you, in order to put them on the same thing as you. And I like that I like, right? But I just been really intimidated to go past like B. Like, there, for me, there's no like incentive. Like, I know you can talk about this.
That's a strong point. Go ahead.
There's no incentive for me to go to S or X. Like, yeah, they look fancy and it would look cool to have this rank, but like the reason I was putting in the work when I was doing it was as I thought I needed to do that to bring our level up in League. Like, I thought it affected our League score, and I still to this day think it does. That it affects our total League score. I feel like the higher rank you are, the more you start off with points.
Nobody knows because they don't say how it's done.
So I feel like we don't know. Obviously, like you said, we don't know, and so that's the only reason I was going hard when we were doing our team thing, and I was like, oh damn, I'm bringing my team down, not having a high rank. But if I wasn't a member of any team, I wouldn't care about bringing that score up. For me, there's no incentive. And I know you hit ranked hard sometimes, so I'll let you go ahead on how you feel about ranked.
I'm kind of torn on rank, and kind of going up in the League too, because like rank, once again, it's another thing that Nintendo don't tell us how you get cracks and stuff. They don't be like, oh, you lose 3, you're definitely going to get a crack. There's now people have run algorithms and stuff and then try to, you know how people be like data mining and trying to figure out stuff about the game. Like they come to conclusions, or just like you made observations about, you know, the number system, and then you can come to a conclusion, right? So you know that's happened, but nobody really understands.
Right.
So hopefully, man, when it just comes to rank, they just finalize, like, man, this is what you got to do to get up, and then cause like rank can be frustrating if you're trying to actually rank up, because sometimes it don't matter what you do, you ain't gonna rank up.
Well, okay, so there is a barrier to opening ranked, right? So you have to be, I think, in turf you have to play up to 15, level 15.
I thought it was 10 or 15.
10 or 15.
Nothing crazy.
It's not that bad, right? But they want you to be at least somewhat experienced in the game in order to unlock ranked, right? And that I like, right? You don't have just people just wandering in there that just open the game day one and I'm in ranked. It's not that high. It's not that high, so like you just gotta give it a little bit of time. So I do like that barrier I don't mind, right? Like that little, so that people have played enough. You had time to buy a couple of weapons, a couple of shirts. Practice what weapon you like the best before you jump your butt into ranked, and that I like. So I was not even mad at that system.
That makes sense. Get the movement down and all that, because I mean there's a lot going on in Splatoon.
Right. And then we got regular turf battle, which is the name of the game, right? And it is what it is. Like you're basically turfing everything. Like so, it has all these maps. Like I know there are maps I don't like, and I know one of the maps I love you hate, right? So there's Moray Towers. So Moray Towers is my favorite, but that's because the weapon that I play, it caters to that map. Like it's a good weapon. Like the roller is good for just turfing up and down the lanes. Whereas if you're in another kind of weapon, Moray Towers is gonna be your worst stage. So. Like, let's talk about all the different maps if we can remember them correctly, because I can remember the few that I remember. There's Moray Towers, which is I think is a roller's paradise, is what I nicknamed it.
You know, Moray Towers. I don't care for Camp Triggerfish. The skate park ones could be hit or miss. I think there's a couple in there.
There's the
one we always do well on. I like a lot. The one with the basketball. We always do well.
Yeah, I like that one too. And it's probably because we always do well on that stage.
We really do well on that stage whenever we play. And but yeah, Camp Triggerfish. Those are the two, but they're kind of spacey. And then like the skate parks could be, sometimes I'll just be in the mood for them, but sometimes I just won't be in the mood, because it's like they got the little ramps and stuff that, you know, it makes the movement a little more difficult to get around. But outside of that, the stages are pretty solid. You only don't like a couple stages. I only don't like a couple stages, what it seems. So I mean, there's a lot of good stages. Where it could be, think if it was the other way around, where we only like 2 stages out of all those stages.
That would be the problem, yeah. Unless it's Piranha Pit, I never have the can I not play on this stage moment. It's like, yeah, we're rotating between different stages. Now, what they could do, which is what you had suggested in another video, in the what you wanted in Splatoon 3, was a voting system like Mario Kart has. Well, let's hope they get, like, you know, Mario Kart took 8 iterations for them to like get it right. I'm hoping that Splatoon 3 they get it on 3, right? Let's hope it's 3rd time's the charm. But at least like with the picking of the stages, you do get to pick your stages if you're in private battles, which is the next one down.
That's good.
So like
it makes it fresh. Yeah.
Like if you get enough people, you don't even need enough people. You could do 1v1s in private battles, 2v2s in private battles. Like you don't need a certain amount of players. I mean, for me, I always like to have 8. Like I like to have a full house. But you don't need it. Like in private battles, you could do 1v1s or 1v2s or whatever number you want to do. I do like that they added that private battle feature. I mean, you can't. The only thing you can't do in private battles that you can do in the other modes is level up. Like my biggest critique of private battles is like, yeah, they're fun, but you don't get anything out of them besides just playing with your friends.
Yeah.
Which on its own is great.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, because that's what I did. I had so many hours in the game, or like people that I would play with would have like ton of hours, but it's all PB. You know, they'd probably still be like level 10. You know, they're good players in that. Like, because you run across people that are really, really good at the game. They're not X rank or nothing like that, because they just don't play those modes, and everything is in PB. So But yeah, so when you do PB, which I know some people only do PB, you know, in a sense you're not gonna have anything to show for it, you know. But you know, when it's like, this dude good, he only C plus, like, huh? He only level 10, no star. How he this good? You know, be running around across something like that.
And at least with private battles, you can use that stupid voice chat app. I've never done it, right? But you can. It exists in private battles. That's the only place you can use it, right, in the game.
Yeah, I think you can like send invites and stuff. I remember when it first came out, you used to be getting like invites, like such and such invite, like, huh? Or like coming up on the phone and stuff. Like, man, I ain't even playing Splatoon right now. It's kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what's the last one we need to talk about?
We need to talk about Salmon Run.
Salmon Run.
And I'm gonna go over some general stuff, but yeah.
Okay. So I'll let you hit up Salmon Run since I really talked about private battles for the.
I like Salmon Run. There's levels to it too, right? So I forget what you start off, but all the way to professional. Mm-hmm. You can play with the group or with randos. See, now that's another part of the game where it's right. You can get 3 of your homies. Or go ahead and say you plus 2, and then you need one more. Hit that ZL. They fill in the slot. Y'all shoot off. You know, you do, and it's a good mode. It's a fun mode. It's the like the zombies mode for any other shooter out there. They put it in here. Right. You know, it's a stay alive type thing. Mode in survival mode. And I like it. You know, I got carried to professional one time. It was pretty cool. And like the better you get, the more hectic it is, right? Like you start off like because you play, I think, to your weakest person's level.
I thought you played to your strongest, but I said I could be wrong.
Either way, because I think we were playing with somebody. It's like I've never seen it like this. It's like it's always like this. Like,
I think it was me. I'm gonna be honest because I've never played it so hectic, and you had the really high rank, and I didn't. So I had never seen it like chaotic. Like
spaceships and stuff with the aliens coming in.
I was like, what? Why aren't they going away? Why are they like when I play with players that have been in Salmon Run, that shit is hectic.
But yeah, Salmon Run pretty solid. I think my only bad thing about it is certain hours. So once again, I don't know why those kind of things happen. Like, why is it too much on the game? Too much stress on the game? Is it limited? And then you can only get like certain gear. Like there's Salmon Run gear, right? So you can only get it through Salmon Run. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's some pretty cool gear that I like that that come from Salmon Run. But if you don't like Salmon Run, you ain't gonna get it. And everybody don't like Salmon Run.
No. I feel like that right there is the incentive to play. Like that was the incentive. Like if you talk about incentives in rank and incentives in league, that was my incentive in Salmon to get the gear. That's why the only time I stepped in Salmon. I mean, sometimes I think because I don't like Salmon is because they'll put shooter weapons for the most part, and I don't really like. And you don't get to pick. That's the one thing about Salmon Run. You don't get to pick your weapon.
Whack weapons too, man.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your weapon, so you have to experiment with whatever weapon they decide they want to put in that rotation and for me that's why I don't like to play Salmon, is because I just don't want to be stuck with a weapon like a sniper.
They do got a lot of gear for Salmon Run, and they got to get each piece in for that time slider. So if you miss it, you out for it, and then you can't order it. You know what I'm saying? You can't order the gear to a Grisco or whatever. So so that was kind of interesting.
Now we're gonna talk about people to communicate with each other. I think that like nobody's using that phone. Like, how many times have you used that phone app? Like, even before we met, like I see maybe one person on that phone app, and you can only use it during private battles, so it's not even really during tour. Like, you can't get together with people. Like, even if I just met random people while playing turf that were really good that I wanted to play with, there's no way to communicate with them. Like, no way to set it up. Like you want to do, like they really need to fix there's native voice chats. Fix it, right? Make it parental control it the way you can. Use the native voice chat. That's what it's there for. Like, it's in your system already. Fortnite is using it. Obviously, it's there. So
that's what I was about to bring up Fortnite.
Yeah. So
I mean, and it's super simple to use in Fortnite. So
so it's already there. The system's in place. Just use it. And I think that would create more. I think for me, that would either create more unity. It might create more shit talking, but then you could always mute somebody, right?
Yeah, block and mute, all that. Because you do that anyway, right? We block and mute people anyway.
Okay, that right there is one point that I do want to get to with the Splatoon one. Splatoon doesn't have a way to block in game. You have to go outside the game, risk DCing yourself to block a player. Like, you can report them in the app if you wanted to, but to block them. I
hate that you got to use the phone app to report. There's got to be you need to do all that within, because some people don't know that you can report like that, or if you don't have the phone app, because some people do need to be reported. I've seen just having some inappropriate names and stuff, and they need to people mess like the game's been hacked before, but to go to the app to report, it's like no, that's got to be in game as well. But guys, that's my big thing. I mean, I ain't gonna get into my little fanboy mode about the job, but I'm gonna keep it easy. It's a review video. I'm trying to be biased.
All right, well, with that, since we're coming up on the end, time to actually give it a score. So we do from 1 to 5, 5 obviously being the best and 1 being the worst. What would you score Splatoon overall? I always have everybody else go first.
Let me see here. Alright, look. First thing first. Alright, I've always been a big Splatoon fan. I remember when with the Wii U, because I had a Wii U. I've always been a big Splatoon fan. When they announced it at that Nintendo Direct with the Wii U, I already knew. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a big hit for a game. Because the Wii U was kind of like in a weird space, but when I saw Splatoon, wow, this game's gonna be it for me. Like, oh, this is dope. Because I know when it came out, some people were confused about it. Like, what is this? A shooter? A painting? Like, how people like it's for kids, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I was like, nah, man, this that game right here. And then it was when it first came out and I played it, was everything I thought it would be. It's like, oh yeah, this is it. This is fun. The movement. So with that said, I'm a big Splatoon fan from the beginning, with the pre-orders of the first one all the way through 2. And then, so, man, this is a 5 out of 5 game, man. Don't play yourself. You jump 5 out of 5, man. It got the knocks in it, but don't play yourself and say this junk ain't 5 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? This 5 out of 5 game is polished. The game polished now. Got good music, good stages. Even now you might, you just said all this negative stuff. Why is it not 4 and 5 out of 5? But nah, man. Those are the little, man, those things are so overlookable in my opinion. Like, you can get past them. This is a 5 out of 5 game. It's got the Nintendo polish, right? Outside of that Wi-Fi, right? That's the downside. We all know, but that's across all their games. That, you get rid of that. It's got the Nintendo polish. The colors are popping. It's got like a good scene behind it. Good scene. Good when you're playing with your people. We always have a ball playing this, especially when we get a big group together. It does everything a game's supposed to do, and we've been playing it since 2017. We kind of just relaxed on it just because we playing other games.
Right.
But people still buying the game. It's sold pretty well for it to be a new IP. It's already about to have its 3rd game in 2021. No, 2022. 2022. 2022. We're always on the 3rd game, 3rd iteration. 5 out of 5 game. Don't play yourself. I'm just saying. All right.
Well, I'm about to play myself. It's not a fun.
I'm about to do a rebuttal, but go ahead. I'm gonna see if we can come back and get you.
So for me, I am gonna knock it down, point a little bit for not a full point though. So for me, it's a 4.8, 4.7, 4.8, and for my reasons is because I don't like the single player. That was I can see that. That's a big negative for me. Like, I can't play half your game, right? Like, I know it's not the main game. Like, for me, it's a multiplayer game, right? That's how I like to enjoy it. But it is part of the game that I can't enjoy. And then, same thing with Salmon Run. I can't enjoy it to its fullest because I can't pick the weapon I want to play. I have to alternate between whatever weapons you put in there. So, for me, there are modes in the game that are not my favorite, but
accessible, right? Yeah.
to that token, it's still like a 4.8, 4.7 for me. Like it ain't a 4 point down. Like
it ain't 4.5. It ain't no 4.0 now. Come on. It's a 3.9. Come on, you made it.
So like that those were mine. I mean, I know you wanted to come back hard, but like those were my points. So I think that's it for this review. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, that's it, man. I'm gonna leave it like that.
So yeah. All right. So we are gonna let you give us your exit ticket and where to find you and how.
Okay, it's my laptop.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man. LazzyJames, Marz. Check me out in the description. I'm on Twitter and stuff. Look, I hang around gamers, so I'm in gamers Discord. I hang there. I'm not hard to find. Just hit me up. Play some games together. Multiplayer games. Let's go.
There you go. All right. So it was a pleasure having him. Thank you guys for watching. Happy gaming. Bye.